UFC Fight Night Vegas 93, Perez versus Taira just wrapped up. I'm going to go through every single men's fight on the card, recap my prediction, break down the fight, see what I got right, see what I got wrong. Starting with the first fight on the card that I predicted, Melquizael Costa versus Shaylian Nuerdanbieke. I picked Melquizael Costa to win by decision, and he won by third round submission. Pretty boring fight, really. Nuerdanbieke threw 28 strikes in the entire fight, pretty much. Obviously, it didn't go to the very end, but up until the submission, he had thrown 28 total strikes, 8 significant strikes in the entire fight. Really grapple-heavy, wrestle-heavy fight from both guys. Not at all how I expected it to go. I thought Costa would work the body of Nuerdanbieke with his body kicks. Couldn't really set him up. Nuerdanbieke was shooting and getting Costa down pretty much every time. But towards the end of the fight, Nuerdanbieke started to slow down. He started to gas a little bit. His entries weren't as good. They weren't as explosive, and Costa was able to sprawl them more easily. And eventually he sprawled one in round 3, ended up on top. Eventually got the back of Nuerdanbieke and found the rear naked choke. So he gets it done round 3 submission. Very boring fight. Honestly, both guys really didn't look that good. Really unimpressed by both of them. Let's move on. Next fight, Jeka Saragih versus Westin Wilson. Westin Wilson, man, he just went out there and exposed this absolute fraud. Jeka Saragih cannot grapple. He looked absolutely lost on the mat. Westin Wilson just kind of did whatever he wanted with him. Got the tap in 1 minute and 49 seconds. Jeka Saragih immediately, when the fight started, rushed in, started throwing huge shots. Westin Wilson, he landed a couple big shots on Westin Wilson. He ate him and eventually found the takedown. And, I mean, just wow. I mean, this guy just cannot grapple. Very, very bad look from Jeka Saragih. I know Westin Wilson is a submission guy, and if he was going to win this fight, it was a submission. But, man, he looked so lost. I mean, just a really bad look. This guy, he's got a lot of work to do. He's got a lot of work to do on the mat. Clearly not all there. I mean, very powerful guy, very young guy. So, I mean, he's got some time to learn and improve, you know. But, man, bad look. Westin Wilson gets the big upset. I saw a path where this could happen, but, I mean, he's just been chinned 2 times in a row. I can't go out there and pick him against a power puncher like Saragih. But, man, this guy cannot grapple. Absolute fraud. But great win from Westin Wilson. Really happy for him. Next fight was Jimmy Flick versus Nate Maness. I picked Nate Maness to win by decision, and he won by decision. The odds were very, very much in favor of Nate Maness. I think he was like a minus 650 at close. Yeah, I mean, yeah, this went pretty much exactly how I thought it would. Jimmy Flick just cannot strike to save his life. His striking is really bad. He does have some pretty quick kicks, but all he's really got is an overhand. He did land some pretty clean shots on Nate Maness, but just no power behind him, really. Nate Maness was clearly the stronger guy. He was landing that jab all night long. Jimmy Flick just has no head movement. Striking defense is really bad. His stand-up in general, offense and defense, just leaves a lot to be desired. And Jimmy Flick, he's just a guy that he struggles to get you down, and he's a submission guy. If he was going to win, it was going to be by submission. But Jimmy Flick, he just can't get you to the ground. He struggles to get you to the ground. And when he does, Nate Maness just got back up. Nate Maness was just stronger. Jimmy Flick could not hold him down the few times he got him down. Yeah, he was 1 of 8 on takedowns. So took him down once, and Nate Maness, I think, was able to get back up. I know at the end of the first round, he had a Von Flue choke locked in. Couldn't quite get it all the way locked in. And that was about all the success Jimmy Flick had. Outside of that Von Flue choke at the end of round 1, nothing else really went his way. He landed some decent shots here and there, but Nate Maness just clearly got the better of every exchange, just more powerful, more technical on the feet. Jimmy Flick just sucks. He's really bad. He only wins if he gets a fluke submission. Flukiest fighter in the UFC. I think he's up there with, the Chito Veras of the world. Jimmy Flick might be above Chito Vera for flukiest fighter in the UFC. Josh Quinlan versus Adam Fugitt. I picked Josh Quinlan to win by decision, I believe, and they gave it to Adam Fugitt. It's a close fight. I gave it to Quinlan in real time. I'll have to go back and watch it, but I gave Quinlan round 1 and 2. I think round 1 was clear. Round 2 is close, and round 3 is clearly Fugitt. So it just comes down to round 2. Yeah, I scored it for Quinlan in real time. I don't know, man. Josh Quinlan just sucks. Like, he needs to be cut from the sport. Adam Fugitt is terrible. He looks so slow. He just threw the same left high kick over and over again, and it's the slowest left high kick I've ever seen, and Josh Quinlan never saw it coming ever. He just kept taking it on the arms. He would never back out of range. It's insane, man. Josh Quinlan is so bad. This guy's terrible. Adam Fugitt is one of the least athletic people I've ever seen in the sport. And Josh Quinlan, he was the more fast twitch guy. He was the more explosive one. I thought he landed the better shots in round 1 and 2. Adam Fugitt was just kicking the arms of Josh Quinlan over and over again. And I guess that wins you fights now. Just kick the arms over and over again, and you'll rack up significant strikes for absolutely no reason, and you'll win the fight. Adam Fugitt sucks. Cut them both from the sport. They both look terrible. Josh Quinlan, I mean, I thought he would be good enough to get it done over Adam Fugitt, but I guess not. Just two awful guys. Adam Fugitt has no athleticism in his body. Josh Quinlan he just sucks, dude. I don't know what's up with him. Just awful. But yeah, Fugitt gets it done as an underdog. It's a pick'em, I think, earlier in the week. Fugitt closed as an underdog, slight underdog. I thought Quinlan would get this one done. I didn't understand the odds. Clearly, I was wrong. Josh Quinlan sucks. Adam Fugitt just spams his left high kick over and over again, kicks the arms of Josh Quinlan 50 times, and wins a split decision. Next fight was Asu Almabayev versus Jose Johnson. I picked Asu Almabayev by a dominant 30-27 decision, and he won by dominant 30-27 decision, just like I said. Jose Johnson, I figured he could be a little tricky. He's a 6-foot-tall flyweight, which is insane. He's just a malnourished individual. Like, how are you making 125 pounds at 6 foot? No idea. But he did have Almabayev in a little bit of trouble. He had him in a triangle at one point, and that was really about it. Asu Almabayev, his fight IQ was just too good, too high of a fight IQ. In the first round, it took him, 2 minutes maybe to get his reads on Jose Johnson. He saw he was firing off that teep kick a lot, and then he saw the teep coming, caught the teep kick, and transitioned it into a takedown and held Jose Johnson there pretty much the entire rest of that round. Just too smart of a fighter. Jose Johnson's always had a very questionable takedown defense, so pretty easy one to see coming. Dominant wrestler versus a guy who always gets taken down. But he didn't get submitted. He stayed alive in those rear naked chokes. I think he had a few rear naked choke attempts, 4 sub attempts for Asu Almabayev. But Jose Johnson was able to survive. But Almabayev wins dominantly, not even close. Jose Johnson landed 5 significant strikes in the entire fight. So Asu Almabayev just completely neutralized him. Incredible performance. He called out Kai Kara-France. I'd love to see that fight. But I think they're going to do Kai Kara-France versus Steve Erceg in Perth, if I had to guess. So I don't think he'll get that fight. But I'd love to see it. I want to see Asu Almabayev. I want to see him get a top 10 fight. I know he's unranked, but he called out a top 5 fighter in Kai Kara-France. Give him a guy in the top 10. Give him Matt Schnell. Why not? Next fight, Brady Hiestand versus Garrett Armfield. This was my lock of the card. I said Garrett Armfield would piece up this dude and win a decision. Brady Hiestand submitted him in round 3. I got to talk about this. Brady Hiestand is terrible. He's awful. His striking is so bad. Garrett Armfield is clearly the better boxer. Round 1, Armfield has an arm bar really tight. Hiestand gets out of it. And then he attempts a few more submissions, and he wins that round. Hiestand wins round 1. Round 2, Garrett Armfield drops Brady Hiestand bad. He drops him to like a knee at first. It looks like a slip, but he was definitely hurt. And then he gets up, and he drops him again bad. And Garrett Armfield, the boxer, and Brady Hiestand, Looks like he's never been taught how to punch in his life. Garrett Armfield just follows him to the fucking ground and gets in his guard. Why? Why? I don't understand why fighters do this. You are the boxer. You don't want to be on the ground. Brady Hiestand's only chance to win this fight is a submission. That's the only chance he has to win this fight. And you're giving him the opportunity to win the fight. Why? Stand him up. You just sat him down. The ref will make him get up. If he does not get up, it is a TKO loss. Stand him up. He's clearly hurt. Stand him up. Why are you getting in his guard? Why? Just insane fight IQ from Garrett Armfield. It makes no sense. No sense at all. One of the dumbest things I've ever seen. Stand Brady Hiestand up. You just gave him a concussion. Stand him up. He is going to be wobbly on the legs. He's still rocked. You can finish him off on the feet. Why are you getting in his guard? All he does is throw up submissions. Why are you following him to the ground? Stand him up, you moron. I don't know, man. Brady Hiestand sucks. He can't strike at all. He's got good submissions. He's a good grappler, but my God, man, this guy can't fucking strike. Garrett Armfield absolutely threw away a win with brain-dead fight IQ. Just one of the dumbest things I've ever seen, and it pisses me off because Brady Hiestand sucks dick. He is so bad. He should not have won this fight. He shouldn't have won his last fight. It's unbelievable. Garrett Armfield's going to look back at that fight and hate himself. Why do you not stand him up after you drop him twice, pretty much? Absolutely mind-boggling. Brady Hiestand, good win, good heart, whatever. He fought back and got the sub in the last round. Whatever. Garrett Armfield's a dumbass. This raises the question, just how shit is Brad Katona? Because Brad Katona could not do what Brady Hiestand did. Brad Katona, he is got to be one of the worst fighters in the UFC. Just terrible. Brad Katona catching it straight, but that's just how bad he is. Unbelievable. Good win from Brady Hiestand, but my God, Garrett Armfield just threw that one away. Timmy Cuamba versus Lucas Almeida. This card was just insane. Completely unpredictable. None of this makes sense. Westin Wilson won, dude. I don't need to explain myself. This card was unpredictable. Lucas Almeida, a guy who's looked nothing but mediocre his entire UFC career. He goes out there, 10-8 Timmy Cuamba in round 1, drops him twice. I mean, this guy lost to Andre Fili. This guy lost to Pat Sabatini. Timmy Cuamba in round 1, he got dominated, dropped twice. And these guys were throwing. They had good shots. Both landed good shots, but Lucas Almeida just had the more powerful shots. He had the bigger moments. But after that round 1, Timmy Cuamba, he started finding his rhythm a little more. He started, holding his ground and throwing, which is what he needed to do. He couldn't just back up and let Lucas Almeida beat the shit out of him. So he started throwing back, and he was landing some good shots. But Lucas Almeida was landing the more impactful shots. Obviously, he dropped him twice. I think he dropped him again in round 2. Just more powerful than Timmy Cuamba. And Lucas Almeida got it done by unanimous decision. I picked Cuamba by round 1 KO, I think. Did not happen, clearly. Nothing more to say about this one. Just Lucas Almeida beat the shit out of him. A guy that's been nothing but mediocre his entire UFC career. 1-2 in the UFC. Now he's 2-2. I guess Timmy Cuamba's just not ready for this level of the UFC yet. Give him another step down, I guess. And if he loses that one, just fucking gut him. I don't know. Co-main event. Douglas Silva de Andrade versus Miles Johns. I ended up going with Douglas Silva de Andrade, the underdog, by decision. I trusted his experience in the game, his technique to get it done over the wild nature of Miles Johns. But Miles Johns gets it done by decision. This guy just keeps winning. At some point, you got to stop doubting Miles Johns. Every fight, it's like, okay, this is the fight he loses. He'll lose the next one. He's got to lose this one. We just got to stop doubting Miles Johns. He has a funky fight style. Super powerful. That's how he wins his fights. He's got a lot of power. and he's got an insane chin. At the end of that fight, end of round 3, Douglas Silva de Andrade lands a flying knee right on the chin of Miles Johns, knocks his mouthpiece out, and he's not even phased. Not even phased. Gets his mouthpiece back in, and then Douglas Silva de Andrade lands a spinning wheel kick right on his chin, still unfazed, no knockdown. Unbelievable chin from Miles Johns, unbelievable power. He just keeps getting it done. Good fight. Pretty close fight. Really fun fight. They had the knockoff Max Holloway, Justin Gaethje moment at the end. Last 10 seconds, Douglas Silva de Andrade just pointing to the ground like he's fucking Max Holloway. Miles Johns, he's like, he entertains it for a little bit. And then the last 3 seconds, that motherfucker's backing up. He don't want any of it. I don't know why. He has a fucking chin. He probably could have knocked him out. If I'm Miles Johns, I'm standing in the pocket. I'm swinging just like he wants. Because you've got an insane chin. He was not knocking your ass out. I think Miles Johns could have fucking finished him if he stood there and traded like Douglas Silva de Andrade wanted to. But either way, good win from Miles Johns. Just keeps getting it done. Time to stop doubting him. But Douglas Silva de Andrade, he did look good in this fight. He landed some good shots. Definitely doesn't look washed at all. I know he's getting up there in age, but yeah, he still looks good. Still looks sharp. Just Miles Johns, a little bit better than him tonight. But yeah, really good performance from Miles Johns. Looks sharp, powerful, good chin. As funky as he looks on the feet, he keeps getting it done. So respect to him. Good win. And let's move to the main event. Main event, Alex Perez versus Tatsuro Taira. Tatsuro Taira gets it done by round 2 TKO, technically, I believe. I think Alex Perez blew his entire fucking knee out. Every single ligament shredded. Taira was on his back, and Perez got to the ground. And he kind of pulled Perez to the ground with his body triangle. And the weight and the way Perez fell caused him to blow his entire fucking knee out, I guess. Really unfortunate. I don't want it to end like that, even though it's not like it's a fluke injury. It was caused by Taira. You know, I would have rather seen him, get Perez down and choke him out. But still, man, Tatsuro Taira, he's going to be a problem, man. He looked so good in this fight. I wasn't a big Tatsuro Taira believer. I thought he was really open on the feet. Look at his last fight. Shit, I can't remember who it was. I'm blanking on his name. But he got dropped. Edgar Shirez. He dropped him. He was always been open on the feet. He tends to drop his hands. But, man, he looked really good in this fight. Super defensively sound. Always had those hands up. Really good footwork to get out of the range of Alex Perez, who would blitz in with 3/4 punch combinations. He would, backpedal really good off the back foot. Man, he looked so good. He looked so good. Unbelievable performance from Tatsuro Taira. Unbelievable. He's only 24 years old. Just unbelievable performance. I don't know what else to say. Unbelievable. He looked so good. Alex Perez, I did have Alex Perez winning the first round. And to be honest, I think he was winning the second round. But, he would have gotten that takedown with like 2 minutes left to work. I think Taira would have ended up winning that round, if not choking him out. It's unfortunate it has to end like that. But, man, Alex Perez has always been a guy that's tough to get the takedown on. But when you get him down, you can find the submission. And Taira, the first takedown he gets, or I guess the second, technically, they're saying 2 for 2. So I don't remember the first takedown. But whatever. The first real takedown that I remember was the one in the second round. And as soon as he gets him down, immediately on his back, immediately has the body triangle. He's immediately looking for a choke. Pulls him down to the ground. Tears his knee. When this guy gets you to the ground, you are in trouble. You are in serious trouble. This guy, he's 24. He's 24. Unreal. He looks insane. He's gonna beat Pantoja. He's gonna beat Pantoja. He is. If he fights Pantoja next, which this fight can give him a case to fight Pantoja next, I would not mind that. He will beat Alejandro Pantoja. I'm telling you, he will smoke that fucking fraud. That guy is so overrated. Usyk beat him. Urseg should be champ. I'm not going to rant about that. It's not about Pantoja or Urseg. Taira, this guy can be a future champ. He looked unbelievable, and he's only getting better. 24 years old. I can't stress that enough. Unreal. Man, incredible performance. This guy, I don't know who you give him next. Again, I wouldn't mind a Pantoja matchup. I mean, Pantoja's not booked, right? Unless I'm missing something. I mean, he just fought, so I doubt they've already booked him. Who would be next? I mean, Amir Albazi, I guess. But do you give it to Amir Albazi? He shouldn't have beat Kai Kara France. I mean, let's look at the rankings. Brandon Royval, he's not going to get it. He just lost to Pantoja recently. He's probably another win away. Moreno's not going to get it. He just lost to Royval. Albazi, who I just said, he shouldn't have beat Kai Kara France. Kai Kara France is 4. He just lost in quotes to Amir Albazi, and I think they're going to do him versus Urseg. Alex Perez, who Taira just beat. Mokaev is fighting Kopp. Kopp is fighting Mokaev. Nicolau got chinned by Perez. You're not giving it to fucking Tim Elliott, Matt Schnell. Who's getting it? It's got to be Taira. You have to give Taira a shot. I would love to see that fight. Give him Pantoja. Give him Pantoja. Albazi does not deserve it. He needs another win. You don't give him a title shot after robbing Kai Kara France. Give Tatsuro Taira the title shot. I would love to see that. But yeah, that was UFC Fight Night, Perez versus Taira. Pretty decent card. I did really bad on picks. I went 4-5, really bad. My 3 locks, I went 1-3 on locks. Garrett Armfield's a dumbass. That's not my fault. And who the fuck is picking Westin Wilson to win? I mean, come on, dude. That's whatever, man. I'll be back next week. Decent card next week. Whitaker and Aliskarov. Gonna have my picks out Monday, as always. Excited to break down that card. Some really fun fights. And yeah, I'll be back on Monday.